Okay, so I'm back with The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Season 2, Episode 2, The Book of Carol, episode entitled Moulin Rouge. I believe that's what it's called. Now, I ain't finished with the episode, but it's got some goodness to it. I'm about let me see, 35 minutes into it, and boy, let me tell you. Okay, so D- not Daryl, Carol and the dude, I forget his name. They done crash landed into this field. I wouldn't say crash landed. It's a leak of fuel, and they have landed into this field. And he wanted to fix the leak in the plane, and Carol sees some walkers, and she's walking over there to keep the walkers from coming and attacking him while he is trying to fix this fuel leak. And Carol gets into trouble because some walkers start coming up out of the ground and grabbing her, and he come over to help, and he gets grabbed from behind, and these two women come from out of nowhere and shoot the walkers and help them. So they go off into these women, uh, their little bunker like place. And on the other hand, Daryl, um, he's with the nun and Lawrence, and all this kind of stuff is going down. The priest and I guess the priest's second-hand woman is talking about how Daryl is gonna eventually leave, and they have to convince him to stay. And Daryl and Laurent is out there playing baseball, and eventually they get called in and about the now earlier when Daryl first arrived, they get called in about the survivors, and one of the survivors is so traumatized after he get brought back after Daryl done rescued him last week, and he's so traumatized. But um eventually they get in there, and during the sleep time the nun wake up to go look for Laurent, and he missing, and they said something about uh two or three people broke in through the window, knocked out the security, and stole Laurent. Okay, we go back to Carol. Now this word gets juicy. The two women who is feeding Carol and old dude, they talking about they got a reindeer cooking, and one of them says that she's gonna feed them, and she get doggone Carol swallow some good whiskey or good something, good vodka or good something, and doggone she tells and why the other one she go out to help the dude fix the leak in the plane, and she just fooling with Carol's crossbow, Daryl's crossbow it should be, and she just points it at Carol and told her that her and her friend flipped the coin, and she got the side of the coin to kill Carol. And Carol says, and your friend got the side of the coin to kill old dude. And she said, no, we have other plans for him. And when she said that, I knew what she was talking about. And they switched back and started showing him and the other woman. And she was talking about how my friend wants to see the world end, but I want to bring it back. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I said, I know what she talking about. I know what she talking about. She said, first it's gonna be with me, and then it's gonna be with my friend. And she's like, we are gonna repopulate the world. We already come out with children names, and we wanted to be with you. And he sitting there saying to myself, no, you gonna have to choose someone else. And she pulled out the gun at him saying, no, it's gonna be with you. We already finna kill your friend, and it's gonna be with you. And I'm sitting there shaking my head, and that's the far as I got right now through the 30 minutes into it. I'm finna watch the rest, and I'll be back. It's gonna be instantaneous for you. And well, that goes that right there. The one who flipped the coin and said she had to kill Carol. She said she really didn't want to kill Carol, but her friend was gonna make her. She just wanted to get away from there. And, well, her friend came back and told her she was gonna have to go ahead and do it because she can't do anything right. And she killed her friend and decided that she wanted to leave with Carol, and the dude name is Ash. So they went to go back to the plane, and Ash, unknowing that she wanted to help them and go with them, he shot her in the neck with a flare. So now she dead, and Carol isn't gonna tell him that, well, she wanted to help them escape and wanted to go with him. So that's that. And then after that, Carol and Ash gets into the plane and they take off, and she asks him was that his first kill, and he says he's lucky enough to have been left alone for all that time. And then we go back to Daryl, and him and I forget, I just call it the nun and the black guy. They went trying to look for Laurent, or that's what they supposed to been trying to do, look for Laurent. But the boy that has been friends with the black dude since season 1, his name Emil, he tried his hardest to get the black guy and the nun to stay back. He didn't want them to come. And it turns out that's because they were going into a trap. The priest sent his soldiers to kill Daryl. Well, not sent them. The priest wanted his soldiers to kill Daryl when they got him off to that place, supposedly looking for Laurent, but he really has Laurent. And Emil tells them about that they gonna have this ceremony tomorrow, and they wanted them to take care of Daryl because I guess he'll be in the way and all that. It's crazy. And then finally now, Carol and Ash has landed in France. It is some kind of race strip, they say, and she convinces him to stay around the plane while she finds her so-called daughter, because she wants him to be able to stay with the plane and keep it safe so that they have a way to exit France when she comes back. But she really just don't want him to know that she's looking for Daryl and not her daughter. And I just can't wait till he find out who she actually looking for. And she is just walking through France, apparently looking for Daryl now. And as Carol is going through France looking for Daryl, she runs into those militant soldiers who support Madame Jeanette, which I just remember her name after they were saying it. And they got all these people round up, and they said they would give them food, good clothes, good all this, if they would support Madame Jeanette. And then she says, who will support her? And all these folks raised their hand, and she said she only need 20. And of course, Carol is snooping around, and the soldiers catch her. And when they do catch her, she get to fighting and stuff, and She whooped one on tail, and then the other ones stopped, and this general woman said she has guts, so we would take her too. So they put all of them in the back of this army carrier thing, and they carrying them off somewhere. So I'm nearing the end of this episode, and as I'm looking, um, Daryl and the nun and the black dude sitting there looking at this island, and they said they gonna have to wait for the tides to carry the water back so that they can. So like I said, they basically waiting on the tide to draw the water so they can get back to the island where Laurent is. And then Daryl and old nun went to kiss. Now this making me marry him. Cause that supposed to be him and Carol. That supposed to be him and Carol. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this episode, and this will be the last I talk. Then it is revealed, like I figured, that the priest is not behind the attempted assassination of Daryl. It is his right hand woman, who also might be his wife. I don't know. But she said that Daryl Dixon was getting in the way and his prophecy will come true, and she was just trying to stop Daryl from getting in the way. And then it shows Carol on in the back of this truck entering Madame Jeanette's um place, and she is torturing the soldier who was at Daryl all throughout season one, which I can't remember correctly, but he may have helped them escape in season one. I can't remember, but she's torturing him to get the whereabouts of Daryl, the boy, and also the nun. This episode was pretty good. I ain't even gonna lie. It was a little bit better than the last episode to me. I'm not gonna lie, but still the same problem I have with um last week's episode is the constant switching back and forth between Daryl and Carol. It's jarring, and also I feel like they could have drew out the story with the two women that Carol and Ash met. I feel like that could have been a little longer, but I guess they wanted to get past it a little quicker. But other than that, it was a pretty good story. I feel like Madame Jeanette, she still got a lot to play in this. Um, I guess this show, she might get killed later on in this season, or she could go for longer. Um, but it looks like in the next episode they gonna be trying to see if they, I guess, the prophecy about them not being able to be turned by the walkers anymore, or the biters, or whatever they call them, it's not gonna work. And I feel like they gonna do that by playing Laurent into this whole having him get bit thing. I feel like it's not gonna work. But all in all, it was a pretty good episode. It was slightly better than last week's episode, and I get this episode with, hold on, let me do this the right way. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, Season 2, Episode 2. The Book of Carol, Moulin Rouge, translation, Red Meal. I've given this an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.